Hello everybody, it's Jen again, and I am on the way home. It's Saturday morning. I know, me out on a Saturday. What is going on? But Eddie actually had his vet appointment this morning. I thought I'd tell y'all how it went and brag on the boy a little bit. And believe it or not, can y'all hear him? He's normally, oh my gosh, because it's a good haul to the vet. My vet's a few cities over. It's a pretty good haul, but I like them. I've been with them for a few years now, and they did really right by me when I had, when Fluff, I got real sick there toward the end, and they've always, they've always been really good. So I'd make the drive out there, but Eddie had his appointment this morning. He's got thyroid issues, the best I understand it, and he has to take a medication every single day, which that has been a learning experience. He's been on that medication a little over a year now. Oh, there he goes. Well, y'all just may hear him. Now that I've started talking, he'll probably talk to us a little bit. Y'all know how he is, but, he's been on a daily medication, and it's been a learning experience for both of us, because it's just got to be part of daily routine, and, you cannot miss that medication no matter what. He's got to get it every single day, and it's my first experience, even though I've had cats for over 30 years, several cats, that I've had the privilege of, sharing in their whole life and spooling them along the way. He's the first one I've had that he has to have a medication every single day. We've had one-offs when they've had ear infections, or like Jasper had a really bad urine crystal situation where he had to be on some crazy antibiotics and some things, but they were short-term. So this is the first time. Like I was telling y'all, this past time there's a shortage on his thyroid medication, so we actually had to get it compounded at a local pharmacy, and it will never cease to crack me up. I'm like, I am calling in my cat's prescription, and where his name's Edie, and it kind of sounds like a person's name. It was just so funny the first time the person on the line, I don't know if they were a pharmacy tech or who it was, they were like, is this for a cat or a child? Because it said fish flavor. I don't know why it cracks me up to have to call in, like, I'm here to pick up a medication for Eddie. It's got a little label with a birth date and everything on there. It just cracks me up to no end, because it's just I've never had to deal with it before. But so this morning, it was his appointment. Apparently every year he's got to go, again, we're learning along the way, but he's got to go and get this certain level test. He's got to get a blood test. Oh, sorry, my nose itches where I've been petting him. I got fur all over me. The life of a cat lady. Well, dog ladies too, but dogs have a lot of hair too, but cats, I don't know how we have not created more cats out of the hair, or how they have not gone bald with all the hair, especially this time of year. But anyway, so it was his time to go and get his blood test, and y'all, I was dreading it for him. I was dreading it for me, because normally y'all hear him talking when I do my grocery hauls. He is just talk. Like, this is the quietest I've ever heard him. It's kind of weird, but he's just meow, 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 meow. And then I bet it's like times 10. And when they have to take him back to take his blood, he screams bloody murder. Like, usually people are coming out like concerned, what are they doing to this poor animal? Like, it's awful. And I was just like, okay, here we go. We're gearing up. And of course, the whole way down, which I already felt terrible, because I had to take up his food and water last night before I went to bed. And I had to take it up for the rest of the cats too, y'all. Augie was not happy. Augie has like food aggression. But, when you have multiple cats, you have to take it up for all of them. So I couldn't put it back down until I had him in the carrier. So I'm sure this boy is very hungry. But so the whole way down there, y'all hear him. I mean, that's just 24/7. I'm used to it. He is the most talkative cat, and part of that has to do with his condition, because his thyroid, from my understanding, it basically makes his adrenaline and all this other stuff go on high. Like, it's hyper. It's not hypo. It's hyper. Like, he's losing weight, and he gets like his adrenaline's going all the time, and his like starvation response is going all the time, and it causes him to like gorge himself, and and then he can't end up digesting it, and it comes right back out, and so he has to be on those medications to try to, I guess, dull that sensation where his thyroid is just going flipping nuts, in the hopper direction. But so the whole way down there, except for there was a couple of times he got real quiet like now, and I was like, oh Lord, don't you be pooping or peeing in there. That was my first thought. I'm like, oh Lord, I know I took this food up so we would not have any pooping or peeing. And he didn't. He would get real quiet. Like right now, I'm sitting here like, oh man, I better not be about to smell something. Because he done it one time, and it was awful. Like, I was already prepared. I got newspaper, garbage bags, gloves. I got the whole shooting match in the trunk. I am old hat at this by now. But it's like when I had Jasper, buddy, I could take his food up anytime, and it never failed. The moment I pulled out of my driveway, he pooped all in that carrier. It's like he saved it up for me, He never could go in the cloth carrier. Like Eddie's in a cloth carrier. But so we get back there to the room finally, which I get so confused with the vet sometimes. Like, I know during the pandemic I had to pull in, and I had to call and tell them what parking spot I was in. But this time I thought, surely we're over this. So I pulled in, but they keep the door locked. So I guess you have to call and tell them you're there, and then they let you in. I don't really know how it works. I don't do much but go to work in the grocery store, okay? We everything else is like a alien adventure for me sometimes. But they let me in. We got back to a room pretty quick, and then we had sat in the room about 20 minutes, and he's howling the whole time. So I was like, you know what? I unzipped the top of the cover just enough to where I could get my hand in there, but I didn't want him to run out, because that's all I need is me chasing after him like he's a greased pig or some runaway chicken in that vet office, because I would do it. I mean, and it, maybe we go on TikTok and make some money or something. I don't know. But so I just started petting him, and he just calmed down. I just kind of petted his head real slow, and eventually he calmed down. He laid down in the carrier, because luckily this carrier, and if you can get one, if you're new to it, get a carrier that you can open from the top or the bottom. And if you can get one that you can open partially, it is great. But I just put my little hand in there and petted him, and he was just a purring and just as calm as can be, and he was quiet other than the motorboat purring. And finally the vet tech came back, and she, got him, and I always let him know, because I know sometimes to keep a cat kind of subdued, they'll kind of grab on the scruff of their neck. And Eddie, he's the only cat I've ever seen, it doesn't instantly subdue him. He goes into straight up like fight or flight response. So I always tell him, don't try to grab his scruff. It's not going to work, and he is just going to lie into you, because Eddie has claws. He is a predator, my friends. He is a natural born predator. He's sweet as can be, but when he decides not to be sweet, he's going to be the king of the mountain, And she took him back, and I purring the whole time, and I kept listening. I was waiting to hear that scream, because again, it is like nothing I have ever heard out of a creature in my life. And I didn't hear nothing. I heard one little bow, just one little one. And I was like, should I be concerned? Should I be? And I'm like, well, maybe they're just weighing him, because they have to weigh him to see, because, part of why we're doing this is he was losing weight so rapidly. And he's so skinny. He weighs less than Kitten, and he's like twice the size of Kitten. So we're trying to keep him at a normal weight, because part of the hyperthyroid thing he's got, or I think they said there was like a cyst on his thyroid that's messing with it, or I don't know. I get him to take the medicine, I get him to the appointments, and we try to figure out as we go. Like I said, it's new to me. I've been very fortunate with cats. For the most part, I've never had to do a medication like this, or, have them have conditions other when they're, at really close to end of life. They all get sick on us eventually, unfortunately, but, well, they need to find out a way to make our pets just like live longer and longer and longer, right? But anyway, but they brought him back, and they had already done the blood test and everything, and I was like, that's it? Y'all done took his blood? What? He did so good, y'all. He did so good. You did good, Eddie. Good boy. He's so quiet right now. Like, he is over it. He's like, take me home, woman. And let's not do this again for another year. But yeah, I think part of it is too, the last few times they have taken his blood in his front, not paw, his like front arm, I guess you'd say. I guess you call it an arm on a cat. Leg. Front leg. But like halfway up one of his front leg arm things. And he did not like that. He did not enjoy it. I think this time they actually took it around his neck somewhere. And I guess that didn't bother him as bad. But they said he was just back there and he was just perfect boy. They did say, though. And it cracked me up because he does this warning thing. He will extend his claws out and kind of raise them up a little bit to kind of warn you, like, hey, buddy. Hey, friend. You know, like, I'm going to scratch you if you don't quit. And, but he didn't scratch anybody. And I think part of it was, too, it was two girls that were back there. Because I don't know, Eddie's previous owner, there was evidence that he was very badly abused. When I first brought him in and brought him to the vet, we won't go into details because nobody wants to hear about that stuff. But if I ever found his previous owner, I'd probably end up in the news, if you catch my drift. So, I'm wanting to think his previous owner was probably a male because he's very comfortable around women, but he is not comfortable at all around men. And it even took him a long time to warm up to my dad. So I think that was part of it too. And he did pretty good, though. He did really good today. I am so shocked. Augie was the opposite. I think Augie's previous owner was a woman because it took him so long to warm up to me, and sometimes he still gets like, you know, like flashbacks out of nowhere and stuff. His previous owner was, do not get me started. Augie, that's another cat. I'm gonna have to start taking him in pretty soon, just because he's getting so old, and we want to make sure his senior years are the best they can be, you know. Get him on track. And his previous owner declawed him on all 4 feet, and it had to be when he was really young because his hips are breaking down. And oh, if I could find them. And he had evidence of a lot of abuse as well. And then somebody just threw him out. We had like renters and stuff, and which, don't get me started. I think Augie's owner actually passed away, and then the people who inherited the house and him and everything, they just let him go because, you know, people are psychopaths when it comes to animals. Don't get me started. We'll be here all day. But let me talk about Eddie's test results. Or no, we don't have his test results yet, so they're going to call me Monday with his test results. Thankfully, oh, he knows we're home. Y'all hear him? I'm gonna wrap it up real quick, buddy. I promise. Okay. I will wrap it up real quick, my friend. But he has lost weight, so he's lost a little over a pound. So that's not good. Good boy. That's not good at all. So his medicine will probably be, the dosage will probably be raised. Good boy. His dosage will probably be raised at least a little bit, if not doubled, maybe they were saying. And unless his levels just come back really good, but they said usually weight indicates that. So Monday we're supposed to get the results because they were out of the kits that they could get them, I guess, instantly in the office, which was fine with me because I had budgeted. I thought this was probably going to be around like $150 or so, and it only ended up being like $70 and change. Thankfully, because this has been the month of all these different expenses and stuff. You were cheaper today, buddy. Hopefully they'll get his pill form back in too, because the compounded medicine's actually a liquid. He hates it. He hates it. Oh my gosh. He didn't mind the pills. We had the pills down pat, but this liquid, buddy, he is not a fan. Whatever fish they are flavoring it with. He is not a fan. If y'all hear that, I'm rubbing on the carrier. He is 0% a fan of it. But it also costs more than 3 times much, the pills. Because pills, I can get a bottle of 100 of them for like 20, I think it was either $21 or $24. And now I get 30-day supply for $35. So, yeah, almost quadruple, ain't it? You're worth it though, my friend. You're worth it, good boy. As long as I can afford it, you gonna get it. Even then, I'll find a way to get it. So, but yeah, that was my morning. I had to brag on the boy a little bit, which I'll show y'all him in a minute. We'll put him in the house. We'll get him some good. Oh, y'all know what? I may go ahead and give him some wet food. Normally, I keep it. Well, I'll give him his. I have this stuff that it's this powder that you mix with water, and it makes like raw food. So I'll give him that, and I'll make a big deal out of it. Y'all do that with your animals. Oh my gosh, that's how I got him trained to take his medicine and peel and stuff. Because when he does it, I'm like, oh, good boy. Must be like my friend with their toddler. She was potty training him, and he would use the potty, and she's like, you use the potty. Yeah, I'm like, you took it, good boy. You did so good. I make the biggest deal of it, and it works. It works. You did good, Eddie. We got to find out your test results. It's mainly, we're trying to keep him, as best as we can for as long as possible and keep his weight normal. He's not losing weight as fast as he was before we got him on the medication, so that's really good. And, we're just going to keep to it. And we got it out of the way. And I'm back home. Not too much. I thought I was going to be back home by noon. They got me in, they got me out because he was just so cooperative this time. He did so good. He did so good. Actually, let me show y'all him drinking me some water. I packed some water, but I forgot to drink it. Ooh, ice water. Not used to drinking it that cold. Let me show you the boy. Eddie, you did so good. You're just a purring. You did so good, my boy. You ready to go in the house? Let's take him inside. Let's quit bugging him and take him right inside. Yes, let's get you right in the house. Oh, I just wanted to show y'all. He's back in the house and settled down. Done wore you out, didn't it? It just wore you out. You been so quiet? Been so quiet? You're like, I just want a nap. This is his favorite spot right now. This box, I cut little holes in the sides, and then he likes to get on top. You did so good today. Hopefully we don't have to go back for a year, huh? We'll get your test results on Monday, huh? Oh, what a good boy. You did so good. Hopefully we can get you fattened up some more, huh? Good boy, Edie. He got him a little treat, too. Uh-oh. I said the word treat, and we got the other boys over here. They were cute, though. Eddie come back in, and Ollie was licking all over him and checking him out. They're buds. Good boy, Eddie. You did so good. You did so good. Alrighty, y'all. Thank y'all so much, and I will be back soon with something else. Hopefully not a vet visit, right? Bye, y'all.